Very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, on the show tonight, there's a lot to talk about, as usual, in your fast-paced, money-spinning, and exciting world of sports. Of course, the African Cup Foundations will get us talking. We know the quarterfinalists, and of course, we will also take a look at what's going on at the Australian Open. Well, some games were played, some matches played today. We know the finalists for the ladies, and tomorrow is a big day for the men in the men's singles semi-finals. We will also talk about what's happening here on the domestic scene, talking about the Nigeria Professional Football League and, of course, the Nigeria Women's League. We look at the aftermath of some of the games played yesterday, especially in the Women's League. And, of course, we will not forget to talk about what has been trending for the past few days. Gianni Infantino, one of the reasons he has given lately for supporting the proposed biennial World Cup is that, of course, if that happens, we will not see a lot of African migrants struggling to get to Europe. The World Cup will keep them on African soil. So there's been a lot of reaction to that comment, and so it will form the basis of our discussion on the show tonight. Let me quickly introduce my partner in the Lagos studio while I wait for Austin Okon Akman to join in. Bolu Omoni joins me. Well, I thought I was going to see him in February, but he's back here. Greetings to you, Bolu. Thanks for finding out time. We said our goodbyes, but it turns out that we're seeing ourselves earlier than we planned to.
Well, thanks to the AFCON, it's been interesting. Let's put it that way. It's been weird decisions from referees and all. But I tell people, despite some weird calls, we've seen lots of classic goals. While we're thinking of no, the goals are making us see yes to
Yeah.
the women's football. As much as we are talking about the AFCON, our leagues are still going on, both male and female. We saw Remo. For me, I think the best results. Yes, they did tell MFM in Lagos, but I still think their draw away to Rangers is their best result this season to two teams. The Remo still remain unbeaten. To two teams in the women losing their unbeaten run, it shows you can't be unbeaten here. I think there's just one team left with unbeaten or two in the women's league. It's just been interesting times to watch football. But again, disappointing Nigeria are out of the tournament. But like I told some people, it's a wake-up call. Maybe if we had gone ahead, beautiful streak to win the AFCON, we may not have prepared well for Ghana, thinking, but now it's a wake up that as much as we think we are very good, we still have one or two things to work on. So Nigeria are not there, but the competition still continues.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about it later on the show. But first, talking about football development, let's start with this one on the show tonight. A journey will begin very soon, as a matter of fact, tomorrow. A journey that will take one on the 17th side in Nigeria to the MLS Generation Adidas Cup. And of course, this is how it's going to start. The Goal Academy League, of course, is offering four under 17 teams, the chance to get to that MLS Generation Adidas Cup that will be held in Texas. So, four under 17 academies have been shortlisted by the Golden Academy League, known as GOAL. It's a premier football competition for elite African academies. As you can see on the screen, four teams have been selected. They are Beyond Limits Academy, Smart City FC, the Three Lions FC. They've all been selected. Four of them actually have been selected, and one of them will get the chance to be at the competition at box to box. Remo Stars, 36 Lions, Smart City, and box to box FC. One of them will get the chance to be at the MLS Generation Adidas Cup that will be held in Texas, United States. Of course, that courtesy of Goal Academy, they will get a chance to be in that competition that will be held in the US. And it's very interesting to see that academies get this kind of opportunities. We've always complained about lack of these academies. We don't see most of them. You hear a lot of players say, I belong to this academy, they get into professional league clubs, but you don't really see the activities of that academy. And I think before we take some reactions, but I think this is a good one.
Well, I remember, I think the NPFL wanted to do something similar, but again, the falsification of one of the things that derailed the idea and all. I remember I see the La Liga promises. It's been on for almost 30 years now. I think it's under 20, under 17 competition for La Liga clubs. When you see the passion, the vibe, everything in that game, you know these guys know what it takes. And this is a good, at least I know about Smart City and them 36 Lions. Now, one thing is sure, whoever is going, you may have 1, 2, 3, or even more of your players retained in the America, depending on how talented, how good they are. And the one thing is certain, if it happens, you are changing a generation. Because if, for example, if one man gets to be maybe held on out, you are too good, please stay. One thing is certain, his family, their life will change for good. So things like this are beyond even football itself. I love the development. I love the idea. Now they know what's at stake. They are definitely going to give their best. And this could be a wake-up call for others in Nigeria. It is not enough to have your academy and stay on a low-key, hoping to sell abroad. No. Sometimes you need to push them out there.
Yeah.
Because videos can be deceptive. Because you put up a video, no. Put them out there, and who knows? It is one now. Tomorrow may be 2 clubs. The next day, when they believe they are more than enough talents, they can decide to do more. Just bring as
They
many
might decide
as
to
you
give
can.
us more slots,
Exactly. So
like you said.
wish them all the best.
Let's take some reactions from that event. You've seen pictures of the draws, opportunity given to 4 clubs. One of them will be picked. Let's also remind you that this competition is run by the MLS. So let's take some reactions to come back for more on Sports Tonight.
I've seen all 4 teams train, and they're very good players. But you know, imagine giving them the exposure to play at that level. The tactical aspect of it, the technical aspect of it, even the physical and emotional aspect of it, the confidence they will get coming back to Nigeria to continue their career, and potentially having some of them even signed at this tournament is tremendous.
My goal is the final, because I've been doing it for years. It's not today, it's not 10 years, it's more than 10 years. So I know what it takes. I know the talent to use. I know when to use my player. And I've been playing Remo, not today.
We have been seriously working on the guys, training them every day, and we are playing in a really competitive league in the country, TCC, and I think they are ready for this. But what it means for us now is that they will have the opportunity to showcase themselves at the elite level if we qualify for the qualification stage in Nigeria here.
All right. Some of the coaches and the organizers, of course, the teams, hoping to be the one to pick the ticket. We must emphasize it's an opportunity to play at an international competition, an opportunity to rub shoulders with the best in the world at that level. And it's an experience that money cannot buy. And that's why you could see most of those coaches very excited with the opportunity being presented to them. And so I'm very happy this is happening for them. An opportunity to bring, for the guys in the MLS, it's an opportunity to bring an African team on board into the competition.
Yeah, it's good enough for them as well. Remember, there's a general understanding that African football is more physical. Then we have the techniques and that. Let's see how much we can fare against those that even. So I think it will definitely be, like you already said, it's not what money can buy. And obviously, it's all expense paid for whoever wins. So whatever you are going there to do, beyond the football, it's also good for tourism. Some of them may not have even gotten on a plane before. So this is a chance for you to explore. And knowing that if I give my best, this exploration could be beyond football. So just look at the City Lions coach. Everybody wants to be the winner. So when you get there, whatever happens, at least let it be for later. For now, the task for every of those coaches will be, let's do our best to win this mini competition, then represent Nigeria there.
All right, and for us, it's a win-win situation for Nigeria. Hopefully, academies will start running properly. Like Bolu said, there was a time we thought the NFF made some decisions and we thought things would start running smoothly. But we're still on the right path, and hopefully we will get there. All right, we're done with that. Let's move on the show tonight. Let's take a look at the Nigeria Professional Football League. We look at matches played yesterday, the list of matches that completes match day 8. And Bolu has already hinted about some of them. Remo Stars catching the fancy of a lot of people, yet to lose after 8 matches. And Bolu, this is the table. And if you look at Remo Stars, their position, you're going to be asking yourself, is this a newly promoted team? Yes, it is. And it's very good that they're going away to pick a result. It's no mean feat. But this is what the table looks like. MFM are in a position you really don't want your team to be in. But it's 30 games to go. It's still match day 8. But really, you never want your team to be there.
Well, MPFL is a unique league, kind of, because if as a match day 8 you are there, you have to possibly try and get out from match day 10 to 15, because if you struggle from match day 8 and you get to maybe 15, you may likely be there all through to the end of the season, and that's where I worry for them. For Remo Stars, I like what Gbenga Ogbubote. If you ask him now, can you win the league? He's doing what Ranieri did for Leicester. No. We are taking it a game at a time. We want to try. I think coming to the MPFL, their first task could have been, let's avoid relegation. Then after then, let's see if we can balance and maybe be part of the middle part of the table. Then now they are pushing with the league. Unbeaten in the MPFL after 8 matches is not a main team, because you have played at least 3 away matches, or maybe 4, and they've won away from home. So good start to the season for them. Everybody knows what they can do. Everyone knows what these guys are up to. And the fact that they are not even conceding much goals. The reason Rivers are ahead of them on goal difference because Rivers United have scored well. They scored 6 goals in their last 2 games. So Remo are doing the Lord's job for them. And yes, they won in Lagos against MFM, but going away in Enugu to pick a draw against Rangers, I think that's their biggest result so far this season. And they are going step by step. Yes, it's still long, but I don't think these guys are the ones that will get relegated. It's a norm that I think at least 2 teams from the newly promoted
sides
get down. I don't think Remo are part of that team. I won't be shocked, even if they push hard to make continent. Win the league, I don't think they will, but it's still very far. But if they make 3rd place, that means they're going to the Confed Cup. That would be a huge, huge success for them. So they're starting well. Hopefully they end up well.
Okay, all right. So let's go at one of our feature games, Bolu, 3SC up against Kwara United in Ibadan. Of course, we all know the story around 3SC, personal tragedy for the club. Lost their general manager a few days ago or a week ago. They were playing this game, and of course, they were trailing at some point up until about 70th minute, I think, and they got 2 goals and they won the game. But we must also kudos to Kwara United. They seem to be doing the right things these days. But your thoughts on this game before we take some reactions?
Well, the drama was Rashid Balogun. They did a minute of silence in the 70th minute. I still don't know why it was done in the 70th minute. Most of that, what we see is before the game. For whatever happens during the game, it has to be probably the fans applaud and all. And I'm not sure it was 7. I think it was in the 60s. I don't know the idea behind the 70th minute. But after that, some said the spirit of Rashid Balogun came down and they got a beautiful goal.
Changed
in the 70th minute, then late on in the 97th minute, they got the match winner. There is no better time than to win than on a day like this when you are celebrating the hero of the club. And the fact that they came from a goal down. Kwara United have not been bad this season. In fact, they're among the teams that have done well so far this season. And for shooting to come back from a goal down to win that game, I think it's a confidence booster for them. Hopefully, things change from there. But the interesting thing about the MPFL is you need 1 win to move from wherever you are to something like 5 places above. Look at Enyimba moved from 11th to 4th on the log. I think shooting also moved her. So good. Gombe moved from about 19th to, let's say, 13 on the log. So you try as much as you can. If shooting start getting results like this from home, they may also escape relegation. But if this happens to teams like this, I'm not worried for anything.
All right. So pictures from that game in Ibadan at this point, Kwara United were jubilating, and some of the scenes right there on the screen. Shooting Stars got a goal back, and just when we all thought it was going to end that way, they tore the script, wrote another one, and shooting, like the fans would call them, shooting, were able to win that game 2-1. The second goal is what you're about to see, how they got that goal, and it all ended 2-1 in favor of Shooting Stars. So that's the goal. So let's just take some reactions. We'll listen to the 3SC manager, that's the coach of Shooting Stars, Edith Agoye, and Abdullahi Bifo, the Kwara United manager.
Going down 1-0 at home, especially in the second half, against a very strong side like Kwara United. Naturally, it wasn't a good one. We felt the end has come. But because of the players, they showed character. They were resolute that today's game, has to be a three-pointer in memory of our departed general manager. The players gave everything, like you could see. They did everything on the field of play to make sure that the 3 points arrived at home. And we're very grateful for that. Yes, what I can say is that what has been happening to us since the beginning of the season is a situation that will form the character of the team. Twice we played at home. We had to come back from a goal down to draw the game. Today we went down again, but we came back and we won the game. Gradually, team character is being built, and we are very happy that today we are able to come back. Otherwise, the turnaround that we were looking for could have been something else.
Got to believe at the same time. But it's a game of football. So if it's not a hand, so anything can still happen. So I still give it to the boys. They came here to fight. We came here to get something out of the game. But at the end of 90 minutes, we were unable to get anything. So I think I praise TSC because even though when they are one down, you can see the seed that they want to, get the goal back. So I blame myself. I blame the team because we lost concentration towards the end. When it mattered most, we lost it. So it's a game of football. We go back and make amendments.
All right, Abdullahi, before they're saying that his team will go back, make amends, and come back to be better. All right, let's move on. Let's switch gears now and talk about the ladies. Of course, let's see what it looks like after match day 6. Let's take a look at the table. Matches were played yesterday. Bolu also talked about that in his opener. I talked about teams losing their unbeaten runs. So let's take a look at the table and also some of the results before we go to our feature game. Bolu, this is what it looks like in Group A. Edo Queens, Nazarua, Amazons, Nigeria Raitels, Confluence Queens, Adama Queens, Oshun Babes, and of course, Pelican Stars. That's hard to believe though, but that's what it is.
Pelican Stars.
In that position.
How tides can turn around in football can be very, very weird. You don't expect Pelican Stars to be there. You expect them to be pushing for a title, but I think in the last maybe 3, 4, 5 years, the Stars have not been shining for the Pelicans. But again, you still have to give kudos to those that are rising up, the Edo Queens, Delta Queens, Bayelsa Queens, Rivers Angels, and the inconsistent FC Robo. I think Robo have the talent enough to have probably won the MWFA, but fortunately, their inconsistency is one of the challenges they have now. And right here, I think they're third on the log in Group B. But again, this is interesting because Edo Queens are the only unbeaten side left in that group. Others have dropped their points. We had Niger Rattles also unbeaten before, but they lost 1-0. Yeah, and that's interesting. And it's football. And for Group B, we have Bayelsa Queens first, Rivers United, Rivers Angels who lost their first game of the season. They dropped to second. Interestingly, Bayelsa were the ones who defeated them. Just 1-0. Delta Queens, Robo Queens in fourth, Sunshine Queens, Royal Queens, and Abia Angels as well. It's been bad for it's as bad for Pelican Stars. The same thing for the Abia Angels. You see the men struggling, you see the women struggling. Something has to be wrong somewhere. But again, it's football. But the biggest winners this midweek obviously has to be Delta Queens, who defeated Royal Queens 5-1, and Edo Queens, who defeated Oshun Babes 3-0. And sometimes when you ask, maybe it's because of the interest of the deputy governor in Edo Queens. I don't know why. Like I said, he's a registered player, or he was a registered player even while he was a governor at the point for insurance. So good win for Edo Queens. Sometimes when there's a financial promise and you are sure you get it, the ginger is always interesting to give your best.
Well, it doesn't always work. You can go and act the Super Eagles. It doesn't always work. But of course, the feature game, like we said, Edo Queens and Oshun Babes, that's what you have on your screen. Edo Queens hammered their opponents 3-0. You're going to see some of the goals before we go on a break. And women's football in Nigeria is on the rise. And we must also give kudos to, of course, the leadership of the board for what they've put together for us to see. So pictures on your screen from that game. We're going to see probably a goal or two before we go on the break. Yeah, this is, well taken goal, I must say. And okay, this wasn't the goal. I thought it was. But very interesting game of football on the day. Okay, so at least we've been able to see one of the goals. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll take some reactions from that game, listen to some of the coaches, and also listen to the Deputy Governor of Edo State, talking about Philip Shuaibu. He is the #1 fan of the Edo Queens.
I'm so super excited. Being the last game of the first round, and I was able to win convincingly. So I think it's a good game, and I'm happy about it. Yeah, because we were topping, and this win is to make us to remain at the top. So and we believe at the end of the first round we'll still be at the top. And we are resting. The last game of the league is next week, and we are by. Even we have at least about 2 or 3 weeks and break. After the break, even the first week, we are also by. So we have a lot of time to prepare the team again ahead of the second round. That's our aim, and we are working towards it, and we believe we'll get it.
We lose to the better side. Seriously, the game was interesting, and we tried what we could to get at least a point. But you know, in the game of football, all coaches want to win at all cost. You prepare your team for winning. When you turn to the other way around, you got no choice than to accept your defeat. We accepted the defeat in a good faith, but we know we are coming out stronger for the next match. No, this is just our trying time. There's no team without this kind of a period. So we are facing many challenges, but we know hopefully we bounce back strongly. So no problem.
We thank God for the match. You can see that the team is gradually picking. We are topping the league now. Not just topping the league, but they've not lost any match, and the games is coordinated now, and we have a team, a very young team. In this, the Women League, Edo Queen, they are the youngest. You can see how fragile they look, but the good news is that the fragile nature in them, the skill is more than what you see, and that is what they have just displayed today. They will be going on a short break, mid-season break, and I'm sure during the break, the programs that I've seen that the coach has lined up for them will also keep them very fit to be able to sustain the momentum in the second round. We are building a team for the future, and these young girls that you are seeing, more than 60 to 70% of them will form the nucleus of the national team. Already, even with today's victory, 4 of our key players did not play today. They are on the Falconet. They are in the Falconet team. And so you can imagine with 4 in the Falconet, not here, they are able to pull out this kind of performance. So that will tell you that the journey we started about 4 years ago is gradually building up. We are not yet there, but I can tell you in another 3-4 years, this is a team for the future. These players will be players that at all competition at the national level, you must make reference to them.
All right, and obviously a late Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, speaking there. You're also listening to Wemimo Matthew, Edo Queen's coach, and Olayinka Adola, the coach of Shun Babes. So we're just saying, well, it's a blip. We'll get over it, in our own words. Just a bad period, but they will get over it. All right, we're done with women's football. It's time to move on to a topic that has got everyone talking. No matter your views on the proposed biennial World Cups, what we're going to do next, what we're going to talk about next, got the attention of everybody, and I don't think he has portrayed the FIFA president in good light. FIFA president Gianni Infantino, one of the reasons he has given recently as to why the proposed biennial World Cup, the 2-year World Cup plan, one of the reasons is that it will stop migrants from Africa from risking their lives to go to different parts of the world. It will ensure that they have jobs, and of course, a lot of people are very hungry with that statement. But let me come to Bolu before we listen to Gianni Infantino. As a matter of fact, let's listen to Gianni Infantino so it doesn't appear like I'm putting words into his mouth. Let's listen to Gianni Infantino make that comment He has not tried to walk it back. But let's just listen to that comment. We'll come back for more Sports Tonight.
We see that football is going into a direction where a few have everything and the vast majority has nothing. I understand. In Europe, the World Cup takes place twice per week because the best players are playing in Europe. So in Europe, there is no need for additional possibilities and events. But if we think about the rest of the world, and also if we think about Europe, the vast majority of Europe, who doesn't see the best players, who doesn't participate in the top competitions, then we have to think about what football brings, which goes beyond the sport. Because football is about what I was saying at the very beginning, about opportunities, about hope, about national teams, about the country, about the heart, about the joy, about the emotion. And we cannot say to the rest of the world, give us your money. If you have or happen to have a good player by coincidence, give us the player as well. But watch us on TV. We need to include them. We need to find ways to include the entire world, to give hope to Africans so that they don't need to cross the Mediterranean in order to find maybe a better life, but more probably death in the sea.
Well, there's been a lot of outrage. The last part of his comments, a lot of people do not agree with some of the things, or maybe the way he's portrayed Africans, even though some try to say maybe the intention was good, but the optics not looking good. But let me get Bolu's thoughts. We're trying not to be emotional about it, but we're Africans, and it came out somehow.
I remember the Younger Club statement about that little tournament. Younger Club said he meant this and that. People said he meant the matter of the fact that I removed that matter changed the whole context. And I tell people what you meant and what you said are two different things. You may mean one thing. You may mean to say I'm silly. If you said I'm stupid, it's a different thing entirely. So what he said about gives, first of all, even if the World Cup is every year and Africans are able to go to wherever in the world, is the ticket for free? No. Would the flight ticket or transportation be free? No. Will the hotel accommodation be free? So even the scenarios doesn't make any sense. He tried later to come out that you were not misinterpreted. People quoted what you said, and we saw the video, we listened to you, and we heard you clearly. I think it's more like how we see it, because if he had prepared his speech and he followed through, he probably wouldn't have said that. But it's something that I felt like it came from the mind. It's what he sees, it's how he sees it. And remember what Seferi said a few weeks ago, that it cannot happen. That there's a reason why everyone loves the World Cup every 4 years. You anticipate. Like, Champions League itself is probably one of the biggest tournaments, the finals ever. But people will tell you, if Champions League final and the World Cup is played the same time, they would go for the World Cup, because I can watch the Champions League again next year. But the World Cup will take me another 4 years. So you wait for it, you think about it. And it's unfortunate that out of the 54 federations we have in Africa, all of them say, let's have a World Cup every 2. If they play World Cup every month, as of now, Africa will still not win. Look at the showings of the supposed big teams at the AFCON. It shows we are not even ready. Look at the last World Cup. Egypt are the greatest team in Africa. They lost to Saudi Arabia. So it means the idea of if they played every 2 years, you have a better chance of winning. As of now, as of the next 5 years, I don't see Africa winning the World Cup. So that's a different experience. So I think instead of trying to defend what he said, I believe he should just come out and apologize. Sometimes people underestimate what apology can do. Apologize first that you were wrong. Then go on to explain what you meant. But trying to explain to someone that is angry with what you said will probably not they won't listen to you. You said this, yes. You meant this, yes. So whatever it is after all does not. Because I'm trying to... We need to give opportunity and we need to give dignity, not by giving charity, but allowing the rest of the world participate. We need to give hope to Africans so they don't cross the Mediterranean. So how does it relate to the World Cup every 2 years?
I, for one, don't like the fact that you're painting everybody with the same brush.
Exactly.
It's a sweeping statement, and it just comes across as wrong. Then I do agree with you that if he had come with a prepared speech, that wouldn't have gotten into it. And a lot of people are also talking about perception. Probably that's the way you see us, You know, it's all of these issues. You know, it's outside the terrain of football.
Yeah.
And that's why there's so much outrage. Although I'm tempted to ask you, is the outrage justified? Because it looks like the thing has blown over.
I think it is. Let's come down to like discussion we had of there will be qualifiers for South America, North America, and I think Asia this weekend. I think starting from today, and nobody's saying anything.
Nobody's asking them to
why are you stopping
to shelve it?
But everybody wanted to wreck the Euros, the AFCON. That it's in the middle of the season. It is not a FIFA window. This and so. I think it's more like how Africa is being seen. And
Deception.
Exactly. The solution is grow on your own and make people want you. That's what I think. For example, the AFCON, as much as we've had poor officiating, I tell people that they were poor officiating at the Euros.
Yeah.
They are poor officiating in the Premier League. But we've seen classic goals that can beat, that are good enough to win even the Puskas Award. So if you keep looking and bringing out the positives, you have no choice. They will make the headline. So I think the only way to respond is to perform well.
Yeah.
Just perform well.
All right, so let's not give up what's our own. Let's make it better. And so, of course, we will have something to talk about. All right, let's move on the show. It's time to get into the AFCON segment. Nigeria is not at the AFCON. It's no longer news, but the competition is still going on. So let's pause, take a breather, get into the AFCON segment, and talk about what to expect at the quarterfinals. All right, so we're into the AFCON segment. Let's take a look at the quarterfinal appearance. What's going to happen in the quarterfinals? 8 teams still with a chance to win the African Cup of Nations. And you look at those teams, just about 4 have won it before. You have the other 4 hoping they will get a chance to win the competition. Gambia. First, let me ask Bolu. Before the tournament started, if you were asked to pick 8, would you have picked these 8?
Before the tournament, if I was picking any, I think it would have been Senegal, Egypt, Morocco. Yeah, I think Cameroon as well. Probably 4 of them for the semi-final, including Nigeria, including Algeria.
Yeah.
But I think I even gave quarter-final mandates for the Super Eagles based on their preparation. But they whet my appetite during the knockout rounds, and I felt we had.
And they brought you down.
Exactly. That our part or side of the knockout round was an easier run, kind of, unlike the where there's Egypt, Ivory Coast, Morocco, Cameroon, and Cuba. But again, football spoke, and like one of our colleagues, Moses Prey, said, anybody can be beaten.
Yeah.
Whoever, and it's a football term normally.
Football.
We've seen Real Madrid struggle this season against teams in the relegation zone. So football can be interesting. It is what makes it even more fun when you just see one team winning everything. You came to an AFCON with about 30-something games unbeaten. You ended up losing to a middle. So it's interesting how it is. And before now, okay, I think till now, my team of tournament so far has been Gambia. They've been doing their job steady. And my player of the tournament so far is still their striker, Albi Jallo. That young lad has been solid. He scored 2 goals for them. Even 3 of his free kick have hit the woodwork. Plus his teammate, Musa Barrow. I think that one has 2 goals with 1 assist. They surprised everyone. But my performer of the season has been Comoros. Against Morocco, in their first game against Gabon, they played very well. But the difference was Gabon were clinical. They had 1 chance and they took it. Against Morocco, Comoros were terrible. People wrecked them, the worst performance at the AFCON history, blah, blah, blah. They went to their 3rd game, surprised Ghana. And without any goalkeeper, with a man down as early as the 4th minute, against actually the best scoring side in the tournament, Cameroon, they still fought hard and narrowly lost. And they scored one of the best goals so far in this competition. I think you have to give it to them. But now we are getting to where form may not matter, where history may not matter.
It's what happens on the day.
It is what happens. Look at Ivory Coast. And Ivory Coast arguably have the best players in Africa in this competition, but they played Egypt that have been terrible so far. And Egypt are the ones in the quarterfinal. That game was solid, beautiful performance from both sides, end to end. Shenawi showed why he won the goalkeeper in the group stage, but fortunately got injured. And the new goalkeeper was the Super Eagles. But that second game yesterday was abysmal. It was sad that game got into penalty. But again, it's what the competition is. It is who wins that matters. And Mali are through.
All right, before we leave the AFCON segment, let's do this quickly. I'm going to call the ties. Then You make your calls. Then when next you come here, I'll decide whether you eat the humble pie or I'll give you praises for whatever happens. Gambia, Cameroon.
I love Gambia. I think it's one of those scenarios of my heart wants Gambia, my brain thinks it's Cameroon. So I think Cameroon should do it.
Okay, Cameroon. Egypt, I have to see this game. I just have to see this game. It's going to be close, definitely. But you're on the spot. You have to pick a team. Egypt, Morocco.
I think I'll give it to Morocco. Yes, Egypt, both North Africans, both teams know how to do their antics. But so far, so good. It's been more. I think Morocco, apart from Nigeria, are the ones that played the best football performance, everything. So I think Morocco should do enough to go through.
All right, Burkina Faso, Tunisia.
Burkina Faso, Tunisia.
After defeating the Super Eagles, a lot of people would say Tunisia can beat anybody.
I think Burkina Faso, they performed better than Tunisia. They just need to play well as a team.
Defense.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're very clumsy at times.
They need Traore to wake up. Yes, they scored their goal, first goal in the lap, but they need him to wake up, missing penalty. Just be too soft.
He doesn't play as if anything is at stake. That's my problem with Traore.
And it feels like they've gotten to, we are here again, quarterfinal. Yeah, I think we are good to go. So, but remember, they were at the final when Super Eagles won 2013. So I think Burkina Faso should do enough. Not because Tunisia beat Nigeria, but based on performance, I think I'll give it to Burkina Faso.
All right, last one, Senegal, Equatorial Guinea.
Senegal. Two teams that performed poorly in this tournament so far. Senegal, they needed 2 red cards to win their last match. And we don't know how good Mane is. Yes, he's out of hospital, but we don't know how good, how strong he is and everything. But they have better quality than most of the teams at this AFCON. So I think they are grinding out results step by step. And I think against Equatorial Guinea, they may still grind out results. Although Equatorial Guinea are not the ones they played. Equatorial Guinea, they have no reason to come out. They may sit down 200 minutes and not come outside.
They know how to lock shot.
Senegal will have to break it down. But I think with a little bit of extra quality, Senegal should do enough to break them down.
All right, that's our take on the quarterfinal games to be played at the African Cup of Nations. And like I said, Bolu is going to be back next week, and we'll see which of the predictions turn out to be true. All right, so that's it. That's it on the AFCON segment. Let's take a breather and come back on the other side to take a look at what is happening in Melbourne. All right, that's a good place to leave it. We wish we had more time, but we got to go. Bolu Omoni, I want to thank you for your time on the show today. And when you come back next week, we'll take a look at your predictions. But thanks for coming out today.
It's always a pleasure being here.
All right. Thanks for allowing us into your rooms without knocking on the door. It's a privilege that we will not take for granted. Thank you very much. We'll be back here again tomorrow, take you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. I'm Mimi Adebayo. Bye-bye.